Now, you may be aware I am a fan of my video game music, and I am a big fan of music in general. I mean, come on, I've got a metal band that I'm a vocalist of called the Julian Year. But that aside, I was thinking about games I could recommend to you, and then it hit me. Why don't I have a look at the video game songs I listen to the most and recommend it from there? So I looked at my music player and looked at the most listened to tracks and the video game soundtracks which are listened to the most. It was very interesting, put it that way. So with that in mind, I'm going to recommend 10 games based on my most listened songs. Oh, this is an interesting one. Let's have a look. Now first up is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1, and this was because of the song Skies of a Strange Land. Now, Trails of Cold Steel is a fantastic series. Well, the Trails of series in general is a brilliant JRPG series, and if you've not ever played one of these, you're in for an utter treat. Now, with Trails of series games, you're always in for a full-on story, amazingly told characters, and, well, an amazing soundtrack to boot. Now, the team behind the soundtrack, Falcom JDK team, are just amazing musicians, and the more games which come out, the better the soundtracks come, and this, to me, Trails of Cold Steel 1 has one of the best soundtracks when it comes to any of the Trails games. Now next up is Final Fantasy VIII, and this was because of the song Fisherman's Horizon, and I absolutely adore that song. Very calming, that song. But Final Fantasy VIII is just an incredible game. Now, although that it's not strictly a fan favourite within the Final Fantasy community, I absolutely love the game. And I did a video not long ago called Remembering Final Fantasy VIII, which is a off-the-cuff, one-shot take about my thoughts about Final Fantasy VIII, which I'll put a little link to in the description, one of the little things in the corner that you can click on and have a listen to, which will tell you more about my thoughts about the game. But if you've not played this, get on it, it's really good. Now my next recommendation is I Am Setsuna, which is because of the track No Turning Back, which is the battle theme in this game. Now if you've never played I Am Setsuna, let me just give you a little brief about it. It was made by Tokyo RPG Factory, and their aim is to recreate the golden age of JRPGs, and I tell you what, they absolutely nailed it here. The story is absolutely breathtaking, and the music is so beloved within the JRPG community. It has turn-based combat as well, similar to the likes of Chrono Trigger. So Chrono Trigger fans, if you've never played this game, this is definitely one that you should put on your list. Now next up is Final Fantasy VI, specifically the Pixel Remaster, and this is because of the Pixel Remaster battle music for this game. Now personally, I've not actually got the Pixel Remasters, but I have played Final Fantasy VI on the PSP using the PS1 port, and Final Fantasy VI is seen as one of the greatest JRPGs ever made. Now, if you've not played this game, you're doing yourself a disservice. It is honestly one of the best 2D pixel JRPGs. Now it's Sonic Frontiers, and I bet you didn't see this coming up on the list. Now this was because of the song Undefeatable. Now, if you're a friend of the channel, you will know that this was my top game of 2022, and look, I'm a big Sonic fan. Now this really was a return to form when it came to the 3D Sonic games, because we all know that Sonic really has a hard time when it comes to 3D games, but this really brought him back to form. Now if you've not played this before, I'd highly recommend it. I mean, come on, it was one of my top games of 2022, with fast-paced action and an amazing open world feel to it. you're just going to love this game. Now my next recommendation is The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie, and it's because of the song Like a Whirlwind, which is Rian Schwarzer's root battle music. Now you might be thinking, hold on, this game only just came out. Well, yeah, you're right, but I've listened to this track so many times, and can you blame me? The intro with that drum lead in is just fantastic. Now this is the epilogue to the Crossbell and Erebonia arc of the Trails series. Now what I would highly recommend is, if you've not played the Crossbell duology or the Erebonia arc, I would really recommend that you play these first before you hit Trails into Reverie. This is an utterly fantastic game, which there will be a review coming out shortly on the channel, which will explain all my thoughts about the game. Now next up is Final Fantasy XVI, and this is because of the song Find the Flame. Now you might be thinking, whoa, this game only came out not too long ago. How is this one of your most listened to tracks? Well, I like to listen to this one on repeat because it's that damn good. And you know what else is damn good? Final Fantasy XVI. It is an utter juggernaut in the Final Fantasy series. Now it is kind of a controversial take with that because it's come away from the turn-based combat system of previous entries, and it's a much more darker tone compared to previous entries, but I have absolutely adored my time with this game. I really enjoyed the fast-paced combat system as well with this game, and the soundtrack is also amazing. Now if you've not played Final Fantasy XVI and you've been on the fence about it, this is my recommendation to you to get it played. Now next up is Live Alive, and this is because of the song Playing with Psychos, which is one of the battle themes for one of the routes in the game. Now if you've not played Live Alive before, it is an HD 2D remake of the SNES title, which was only released in Japan, but we finally got it out in the West. Now in this you get the chance to play as 8 different characters through different points of time, and they all have varying lengths of story, and all the stories in this are just fantastic. There is a turn-based combat system which is really good fun, and yeah, the soundtrack is just amazing with this. Now there is a lot of HD 2D games now out, likes of Octopath Traveler 2, Triangle Strategy, and you've got the likes of Dragon Quest 3 remake coming as well in the same sort of engine. But honestly, in my eyes, this is the pinnacle when it comes to HD 2D games. It is just outstanding. Next up is Nier Automata, and this is because of the song Weight of the World, specifically the French version of it. Now this is an utterly amazing game. Now I did recently question myself in a previous video, is Nier Automata one of my new favourite JRPGs? Well, spoiler alert, yes. This is because this game has an outstanding story, amazing characters, and the combat is just so slick. And having multiple playthroughs with different characters is something that you will always want to sink your teeth into, just to get a little bit more of these characters and this world. If you've never played Nier Automata before, I would highly recommend this. So the top recommendation, funnily enough, is Croc Legend of the Gobbos. Now I bet you didn't imagine that being the top recommendation. Now this is because of the main theme to Croc. Now this is my most listened to video game song on my music player, which is a bizarre one, is it not? You would have thought there would have been some Final Fantasy goodness in the mix, but no, Croc's theme song, which is so bouncy and jazzy, was the #1 pick. And you know what? This PS1 classic is amazing. And there is a remaster in the works. It's in early development, but it is in the works. Now this was back in the day of PlayStation 1 games where the game did have tank controls. Now as you can see from my footage on screen, I do have a bit of trouble actually controlling Croc compared to what I'm used to in gaming nowadays. Croc is an amazing game, and I really cannot wait for a new generation of gamers to play it once this remaster comes to fruition. So there we have it. I've managed to recommend 10 games because of my most listened to music. Was there any games which surprised you in this list? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like what you're seeing, please help me grow the channel by liking, sharing and subscribing. And if you want to be kept up to date with everything Chicken Fillets, please hit that notification bell. This has been Chicken Fillets, and until next time, tatty bye!